Good morning, YouTube. Good morning. It is 7:30 in the morning. I just woke up from a wonderful sleep. I'm very rested, and I just wanted to get on here and talk about something that was on my mind this week that's really important to me, that I think is one of the tools that has helped me successfully stay sober besides my carnivore diet. So my carnivore diet, I think, helps me stay sober because I'm full of nutrients and I'm full of energy, and I just feel so good inside that I don't really think about drinking. I don't have the physical cravings. I don't want a hangover, never again. And it gives me just so much inside my body and my brain physically that I think it really, really helps. And I think that's why I've been so successful. I'm about 225 days today, and I don't think about alcohol. And I do attribute a lot of that to my carnivore diet, and that's what keeps me eating lots of meat, and I just feel so great. But I don't want to act like, you eat a bunch of meat and it's a magic cure-all and you're never going to drink about alcohol again, because that wouldn't be true. It is a lot of mental that goes into staying sober. And we have to be strong. We have to have a good mindset and tell ourselves, I'm not going to drink again. But I think that there are other things that are going to help us, and there's other tools at your disposal. And I did learn a lot when I went through my rehab classes. I wouldn't say that I remember everything, but there are certain things that I did take away from the class that I did keep at my disposal and in my arsenal of tools for sobriety. And there's one of them that I want to share with you today that I think that's really important. And it's a little acronym called HALT, okay? And if you can remember this one, if you can use this one, I think you'll have some success. It does help me. And I just want to go over them together. So the acronym HALT stands for hunger, anger, lonely, or tired. And it's just really about being self-aware, because if you feel any of these things and you don't deal with them and you don't address them, of course you can lead to relapse, which we don't want. We want to stay sober. And it's really important for me to stay sober every day. I have 3 beautiful reasons why I stay sober, and my life is important to me and my health is important to me. And these are 4 things that if you can do yourself once you stop drinking, you won't be so tempted to go back to drinking. I'm not saying that these 4 things make you drink, but what happens is you're dealing with these feelings and you don't really know what to do with them, and maybe you want to drink. And if you can look and see, is this why? Is this why? Is this why? Maybe it would help you, just being self-aware. So the first one I want to talk about, the H in HALT, is hunger. Okay? Never let yourself get hungry. When I first stopped drinking, my appetite was very poor. Food was the last thing on my mind. I did a lot of fasting, not on purpose, but just because everything that I went through and detox, the last thing on my mind was really eating a plate of food. So in the next couple of days, I would just have little bites here, little bites there. I really was the last thing on my mind. But once I got past the detox part and I started feeling a little bit better and I wasn't on the medication anymore, I did notice that my hunger was coming back, which was weird for me because I just didn't eat that much. I know I had gained a lot of weight, and people are like, why are you so big? And you're not really eating ginormous meals and you're not snacking a whole lot. But actually, alcohol has a lot of calories. Alcohol stalls fat burning, and you will put on weight when you're drinking like a fish. But once I got past the detox phase, I found that I did start to get hungry, and I started to eat. And I think that's really important, because when you've been drinking as long as I have and it gets pretty bad, you don't really eat. It's not the first thing on your mind, it's the last thing on your mind. And you consume large amounts of alcohol and you're not eating any food. So if you take that out, no more alcohol, okay? Not good. So make sure that you eat. And when I say that, don't just eat anything. Of course, I'm a carnivore, and I'm not saying today, hey, go out and be a carnivore. But I am saying fill your diet, fill your belly with healthy fats, good food that satiates you, that will prevent you from being hungry. Why do you think the carnivore diet is so successful? Healthy meat keeps you full, keeps you energized, you're not hungry. Okay, it's really, really important. A healthy fat diet, a ketogenic lifestyle would really help you avoid being hungry. I'm not saying, oh, I got hungry, I'm going to went out and have a drink. That's not what happens, but over time, you just want to make sure if you wanted a drink, if you're craving one, if you're thinking about one, are you responding to maybe hunger? Is that possible? Remember, even though it's alcohol, it's kind of like giving your body sugar all the time. Okay, your body's used to it. Now you've taken it away. So think about it. Maybe the next time you want to grab something, maybe the next time you're tempted, maybe the next time you have a feeling or a craving, are you hungry? Did you eat a meal? I remember my go-to a lot of times was a lot of eggs with butter. And I would feel so good afterwards, and I would think, you know what? I probably just needed to eat something. So the physical cravings, like I said in the beginning, were going away because of the detox. They were still there a little bit. And then, of course, the mental. To just deny that the physical cravings will go away in an instant is not true. Your body is still adjusting from the constant intake of sugar from drinking all the time. And so having a healthy meal is very, very helpful. And I really encourage you not to skip your meals in the beginning. When you first get sober, make sure you feed yourself. Another thing that people don't realize is that alcoholics are severely malnourished. We're not getting vitamins, we're not getting minerals, we're not getting any nutrition. Our nutrition is coming from alcohol, guys. It's so important. So when I stop drinking, the little nutrition that's in there, which I don't think is very much, is totally gone. You need nourishments. You need to heal yourself. I remember when I went through detox, my doctor put me on vitamin B1 daily basis. Okay, so he realized the importance of vitamins. He realized that we get malnourished. It's true. And I think another reason why I feel so good is because I actually have nourishment, vitamins, minerals. My body's not so malnourished anymore. Okay, and that's going to help with your healing, but it's also going to help you feel better, and maybe you won't be tempted to have a drink. Number 2, anger. Anger is a normal human emotion. I think when we think of anger, at least for myself personally, I would think anger meant, mad, I'm going to hit somebody, I want to get in a fight. Because that's not the kind of person I am. I'm not a fighting kind of person. I really don't like to be confrontational. I'm not saying that I can't have my moments, especially when I was drinking. Of course I did. But just in general, I'm not an angry person. But I always would associate anger with something like that. Someone who raised their voice at me. Someone who maybe, had their fist punched. Someone who hit a wall. Someone who was super, super aggressive. That's not what it means. Anger is a healthy emotion. But the problem is sometimes when we drink, we don't deal with our emotions. We're angry, so what do? I'm speaking for personal experience, but I'm sure some of you can relate. Suppress it, keep it inside, be mad, let it fester, and then what? Have some drinks. I would do that a lot. Something would be bothering me, something would be making me mad, but I did not deal with what it was. I would either just drink it away or just put it away, and that is not good. So now that you're sober, if you get angry about something, you can't do that anymore. You can't get a drink and you can't just drink it away. You have to actually deal with the problem. How do you deal with the problem? There's a couple things you can do. First of all, talk about it. Maybe you just need to vent and get it out. I know that I would bottle things up a lot. I still do, but it's something I'm working on. It's something I'm growing on. Talk about it, okay? Next thing is maybe you can take a walk, okay? Physical activity can also get rid of your anger. Get it out. Maybe you take kickboxing. Maybe you go to the gym. Maybe a brisk walk while you're venting and getting it out is all that you needed to do. The other thing I would say is sometimes you have to confront the problem. Do you need to talk to that person? Like, hey, I really didn't appreciate when this happened, or what did you mean by that? Or, can we talk about this? It's really bothering me. That might be helpful instead of bottling it inside. So don't let yourself get angry because like I said, you don't want to relapse. You don't want to do anything that would make you pick up the drink again. So please deal with your anger, or at least be aware. Self-awareness is so important. I know since I've been sober, sometimes I'm having a feeling and I'm like, what's going on? And why do I want to drink? And I would really stop and be like, you know what, Portia, you're upset about this. That's what it is. You're just upset. It's okay to be upset. I don't have to drink today. Let me deal with it. And you know what? I think it's helped me a lot. I say what I feel. I let it get out. I'll write it down. I have taken walks. I will try to do something to deal with the anger instead of keeping it bottled up inside. And I really think it's a good tip and it's a good suggestion, especially if you're like me and you want to stay sober and it's really important to you. What is the next tip? Loneliness. Okay? Don't let yourself get lonely. Now, this one is very hard for me. It is still a work in progress. It is something that I try to work on daily basis. It is probably one of the biggest reasons why I would drink: loneliness, rejection, all those bad feelings we don't want to deal with. You could be around a crowd of people. You could be in your house with your family. You could be at work, but you could still feel lonely. Loneliness is so hard. It's so heavy. And it is a reason why a lot of women drink. It is. How do you deal with it? Well, how did I used to deal with it? Drink. I could drink alone forever. I didn't need to drink with anybody. No, I liked drinking with people, but I didn't need to. I was alone a lot with my alcohol. Isolation is not good, guys. And it's hard, especially what happens if you're very used to being alone, if you're used to isolating yourself, if you're used to drinking. It's like, how do you just not be alone anymore? It's not easy. First thing I try to do is, first of all, don't associate loneliness only with romantic love or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or a husband. That's not the only way to fix loneliness, okay? Because if you focus on that and that's not what you have in your life right now, or if that's lacking, it's going to make you really sad. Or if you're in a relationship that's having any trouble and you focus on only the lack of love or companionship or the loneliness in that arena, you're going to be really frustrated. Try to find connection, okay? Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's coworkers. Maybe it's a support group online. Maybe you go to meetings. Human connection is really important. I know many times during this journey so far, I've been very frustrated. I was like, what's wrong? And I felt something bad. And you know what? I was just lonely. I was very lonely. So you know what? Sometimes you have to initiate. Sometimes you might have to be the friend. You can't just be in your little bubble with your isolation and just be sad and have it brewing. And then what's going to happen? You're going to drink. It happened to me that I drove to the store. I parked in the parking lot. This is the truth. And I thought about it. And I was just like, what's wrong? You've been doing so good. You've done all these days. Why are you here? And I was like, I'm just lonely. I'm lonely. And I was sad about it, but it was the truth. I was self-aware that I was lonely. What did I do? I made a phone call. Sometimes you gotta do that. You gotta talk to people. Don't isolate yourself. Find your community. Maybe it's YouTube. Maybe there's a live chat you can join. Maybe you have a relative you can call. Maybe you just have to not be so into yourself. Maybe at work you can go to the break room and sit with someone else for lunch. Have some conversation. It might take your mind off your loneliness. So really try that one. I know that one of the 4 acronym is really the hardest for me. It's still a work in progress, but I really try hard to have connection with people. I find now that I'm sober, I'm not as the social butterfly I used to be. I think I'm an outgoing person. I think I'm a friendly person. I would not consider myself an introvert, but the alcohol kind of gave me more of a liquid courage. You know, you're drinking, you're having fun, you could just talk to anybody. But those people weren't really my friends. It wasn't really me. It's just more the alcohol. So when I took that away, I had to really relearn how to be friendly. You know, what personality do I have anymore? How do I talk to people? It's just different. I mean, I'm still the same Portia, but I'm a different Portia, and I don't think I'm just as outgoing as I used to be before. And so making friendships is new, and it's something I'm discovering. I am excited about the process, but I think that there gets to be some lonely steps along the way, and I just have to recognize them and be self-aware so that I don't get tempted to drink again. The last one is don't let yourself get tired. This one is super, super important, guys. Super important. When I was drinking a lot, I did not get a restful sleep. Not at all. I mean, I can't even talk about sleep. I mean, it was a lot of times it was a passed out situation. That's the truth. I would drink myself to sleep and I'd be passed out. That's not good sleep. Your body has all this alcohol inside. It's trying to detoxify it while you're sleeping. It's just really not good. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night with like a shake or a tremor or scared or having to use the bathroom or a headache, just all kind of stuff. Sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night, I'd have to have another drink just to finish the rest of my sleep. It was just bad. Then I'd wake up early morning, totally hungover. Oh, the worst feeling ever. Sometimes when I would drink, I'd actually go to sleep really, really later than I should because you're up all night drinking. Okay, so the first thing I can really recommend that I started doing was going to bed at a decent time. I really value my sleep. I treasure my sleep. I go to sleep at a good time. I will say, though, that with the carnivore diet, I have a lot more energy, so I think I need less sleep, and I don't have to go to bed as early as before, the longer that I am carnivore. But if you're not starting out carnivore, that's probably not going to be your situation. You're probably just going to have to relearn how to sleep again without depending on the crutch of alcohol to go to sleep. For a lot of people, alcohol is like their sleeping pill. In fact, in the beginning of getting sober, I would be up for hours just wishing I would go to sleep, like tossing and turning, and it'd be 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, still not sleep. But that's because my body was used to the sedative effects of the alcohol. Not that it was good sleep, but it put me to sleep. So that's a process. That's going to take some time. And maybe you can use some melatonin. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. Melatonin is over the counter. It's not like a sleeping pill prescription. You're not going to be addicted to it, but it's really helpful. I did use some melatonin in the beginning. But I also started a sleep routine. Okay, so I said this is going to be my bedtime. So before bedtime, I would kind of get into a relaxed mood, dim the lights. Sometimes I would put music on. I started listening to subliminals and affirmations and just hearing it over and over, a message that would help me to have that thought before I go to bed. One of them in particular that I listen to is about health. It's just all kind of subliminal health affirmations going all night, because it's helped me to feel mindset, be healthy. Another thing that I started doing is listening to nature sounds all night. Yes, I would fall asleep to calming river sounds, ocean sounds, forest sounds. I know it sounds funny and nerdy and silly, but I'm telling you, I'd put those river sounds on or put those ocean sounds on. Man, I'd be asleep within 10 minutes. So soothing and relaxing. So I don't know if you want to try that, but it worked for me. The other thing I did was I tried to avoid distractions, tried to stay off your phone. Especially me, the job I had before I was on call was a little bit more difficult. I was always thinking the phone would ring, thinking that I'd get a message, and I'd always reach for the phone or look at the phone. It's not really the best to be dependent on your phone or have it so near you. I'd put the phone away and I just try either to turn it off or not put it so close to you so you're not tempted to grab the phone. Avoiding distractions, keeping it dark. Those are some of the things that I think are really important. You don't want to be tired. And if during the day you feel tired and you're like, maybe what's going on? I don't feel good. You think about having a drink and you went through the H and you went through your A and you went through your L. Do you need a nap? I mean, in my beginning of my journey, when I was off of work for that month and I was going through my classes and I was going through rehab and I had finished the detox and the medication, I took naps. I know. I never took naps before, but I took naps. I needed it. Sometimes I would just lay down on the bed and an hour would pass and I'd wake up like, wow, I guess I was tired. So don't deprive yourself of a nap, especially if you're a busy mom like me. You work hard and you really think you don't deserve a nap. You have all these other things that you have to do, but you have to make yourself a priority a little bit. You might just need a nap, and that's okay. Well, I really hope that you learned something from these tips. HALT, HALT. Just think like HALT. What's going on? Think about it when you think about taking your next drink. Are you one of those 4 things? 9 times out of 10, you might be. I know for me, the L, the lonely part, a lot of that was that for me. Maybe it's hunger for you. Maybe you're angry about something. Like I said, maybe you're just tired. Now, I'm not saying that will be all the reasons why we drink. We all drink for different reasons. But a lot of times when it's coming to relapse, you have to think about what are the things that might make me go that way and try to stop them from happening. And that's why HALT is so important. I don't know, I never heard of HALT until I got sober. I never heard of this acronym before. And maybe there's a lot of you who've never heard of it. My teacher told me about it. I read some books about it. And I'm like, wow, that is so true. And he talked about a lot of things when I went through my rehab classes. But that's one of the things that really stood out in my mind because it's true. It's so important. Sometimes we are responding to one of those things and we don't realize it. And then here we go, we drink again. Like, why did we do that? Now, I haven't relapsed, thank God. And I don't want to. So I really try to focus on those 4 things. Well, anyway, I just want to say thanks, guys, for waking up with me this morning and listening to me talk about some great tips. I hope that you'll keep them to heart. I hope you're staying sober. Remember the acronym HALT. Thank you for watching my channel. Please hit a like button. I'd really appreciate it. Have a good day.